Hi, I'm Julie, and this is the first video in a series of general biology videos on cellular respiration. Okay, what is cellular respiration? We think of respiration as breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. Well, here I'm going to talk about cellular respiration. So what's going on at the cellular level? So it's a cell it's a process of a cell being able to take in energy, take in food, and break it down, and getting the energy out of it. And that energy can do work. But doing it in a very slow, step-by-step process. That's cellular respiration. Okay, so let's go over the details. So, who can do cellular respiration? So all life can do cellular respiration. Animals, plants, bacteria, archaea. Plants make glucose by a process called photosynthesis. Okay, let me get my pen. Okay, so photosynthesis. And we're going to talk a lot more about that process after we talk about cellular respiration. So plants can transform electromagnetic radiation energy from the sun into chemical energy in the form of glucose. And they do that inside an organelle called a chloroplast. And then they can take that glucose molecule, so this right here is a glucose, which is a sugar or a carbohydrate, and with oxygen, can form ATP and then be able to use the energy in the ATP molecule to do work. And most of that process is done right here in an organelle called the mitochondria. And in that process, so ATP is given off, but also, so these are the reactants, and then these over here are the products. And the products, we've got water and carbon dioxide. So let's put our formula over here for glucose as well. So what is that? C6H12O6. And oxygen is usually written like that, O2. Okay, so this process right here, this is cellular respiration. And you can see that it's a cyclic process. So we're talking cellular respiration, the products, carbon dioxide and water. But for photosynthesis, it's reversed. So these are now the products of photosynthesis. And these, wait a minute, sorry, scroll that out. These are the reactants of photosynthesis. And these are now the products over here of photosynthesis. Okay, but we're going to talk in more detail about this process, cellular respiration. And this is the chemical formula. We've got glucose plus oxygen. These are the reactants, and then these are the products, water, carbon dioxide, and ATP, our energy. So if you were to take sugar in the form of this gummy bear, and in the presence of oxygen, and heat as an activation energy to break up the glucose molecule, you will get your products, you will get water. And here you can see right here in this test tube, this gummy bear, place the gummy bear in the test tube with oxygen and heat, and here you're getting water coming off in the form of steam and carbon dioxide in the form of gas. You're not getting ATP. All of the energy is transformed from this chemical energy into light energy, heat energy, sound energy, and there's still some chemical energy left over as well. But in biology, in our cells, we want to be able to use all that energy that was given off in this chemical reaction to do work. So it's transformed into ATP instead. Okay, so let's see. So here's our glucose molecule plus oxygen. And through cellular respiration, we then get carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Oops, let's see. Energy. I was about to write ATP in the form of ATP. Okay. So we know that when you combine hydrogen and oxygen, you get water. And this is, okay, oops, let me actually get my eraser. Okay, try it again. Let's put our arrow going that direction. So this is exothermic. We know there's a lot of energy coming off of this reaction right here. In fact, liquid hydrogen was used with liquid oxygen in the main engine of the shuttle. And that's a lot of energy coming off there. So in biology, this energy is used to do work. So some examples of that work: using ATP to transport molecules across the cell membrane, food for one coming in, waste going out, ions. In this case right here, this is a pump. So pumping certain ions across the cell membrane. Another way, another thing that's needed in the cell to do work, these motor proteins. So the proteins use ATP to change their shape so that they actually walk along the cytoskeleton inside the cell. And in this case right here, ATP is changing the shape of the proteins that are in the cell membrane to be able to transport molecules. And this is another example right here. Muscles, being able to contract muscles. These are protein molecules. And ATP changes the shape of the protein molecules in your muscles, changing the shape of this filament right here. When ATP attaches to it, it bends. So when it attaches to the other protein molecule and bends, it will actually push it in that direction. And that's your muscles contracting, being pushed by protein molecules changing shape because of ATP, that energy in ATP. Okay, here's our chemical equation again for cellular respiration. This is going on in the cell. So here is the glucose that came from plants, goes into glycolysis, the stage of glycolysis, and you get pyruvate. So this is stage 1 is glycolysis. And then there's a bridge step right here. So our glucose molecule is being catabolized. It means it is being broken down into different parts through different stages. And here's the Krebs cycle, which is stage 2. And then the electron transport chain, which is stage 3. Okay, so the next few videos, we're going to look in more detail at each of these 3 stages.